Solana is exploding and you do not want to chase. It's always best to wait for the retrace. I'm going to go over where I think Solana will retrace to so we can get a perfect entry and ride it upwards. I don't think Solana is anywhere near done pumping. There's still a lot of room to grow. So let's take a look at the chart. I shared my analysis a few weeks ago, but after the move, I've never updated it. So I want to go over the price action. Solana exploded over the last few days, weeks, and 2 weeks. So this is 3 weeks. We saw a 118% move. Even when we're looking against Bitcoin, Sol BTC chart exploded. And last week, we went 40%. It gained 40%. It grew faster than Bitcoin in terms of price. So if we look at the price right now, we're going to look at Sol USD and Sol BTC. If you have extra Bitcoin and you want to put it in something that's growing faster in terms of price, then Solana might be it. A lot of people, hate Solana and everything it has to do with involvement with FTX and all that stuff. But honestly, I don't think you should fade this coin. It brings you back to like, do you want to be right or do you want to make money? I want to make money. So if we take a look at this, we're going to see that we broke the downtrend that we were stuck in from 2021 all the way into 2023. So you can see that we broke the downtrend, and some people might put it like this, okay. Any way you want to draw it, we broke that downtrend. And if we look at market structure, we actually smashed that as well. So we were making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low. And then from here on end, you can see that we started putting in higher lows. And we started, trading above this. That was recently where we broke this high and we broke the trend line. And on top of that, we broke the weekly moving average. So a lot of confluence. And like myself, do you know how much FOMO I had just to jump into Sol? I saw Arthur Hayes tweet like a day ago. I bought Sol. I'm like, okay, he's probably buying the top right now, or he's probably selling into everybody buying from his tweet. You can't trust people like that. So this is clearly like moving upwards. It's broken structure. It's broken the trend line. It's broken the moving average on the weekly. So I didn't FOMO in, but I definitely want to get in on the retrace. And that's what it's looking like what's happening right now. If we're gonna go on the weekly for both charts, and then we'll work our way down. I'm gonna switch to the line chart, and I think that it gives me more accurate areas. So if you can see right here, we're looking at closes. So it closed here as support, and even if I put the line chart here, some of these lines aren't closing like these up here, but I can almost guarantee that when I go back into candle, the wicks, the lower the highs, will actually interact with this. So this is $25, but we have a ton of closes in the 29, 30 area. So if we do the same thing right here, you can see that this was previous resistance, and we didn't actually get there, but as I mentioned, as soon as I put the candle, I'm more than positive that the price actually would have interacted with this level. So if we put it right here, and then this one right here, we could use more so a rectangle here, because there's not one line that I'm always looking to take profit. It's more of the area, and I'll see how it trades in that area. So if we did something like that, that's a bit high. Let's $79. And this is when I would break into smaller time frames to find zones of interest. So we can do that, and then we'll switch back to the candles, and there I told you. So I put if we look back at the line chart, you can see that we haven't actually reached there, and same with below here, but we trade there. So it's a great place to have like take profits or even put your entry there. So a limit buy order, a limit sell order, whatever it may be if you're shorting or longing. So you can see we actually traded here, the huge support here, and then that support turned into resistance right here, and then we broke above that. You can see as this next resistance area, we actually tapped, and now we are getting rejected as it seems. So I'm always looking to never buy the pump, wait for the retrace so I can get like a decent entry and get a safer entry so I'm not seeing a lot of drawdown. Like, yeah, I could buy here, yeah, I could buy here, and maybe hold for the next 3-6 months to get to the next level of interest for myself. This would be my first take profit area, but I would rather buy in the second best place. And to some people, it might be the third best place. So I'll show you what I mean. If I take my brush, like unless you bought the literal bottom here, or you were just accumulating, as myself, a trader, I am looking to get in and out, unless I'm looking to build a bag. That's more so investing instead of trading like a swing trader or just an intraday trader, or you get stuck in a position and now you're a hodler, so a bag holder. So this is what I'm looking for. As you can see here, we go up, and with Solana, it's like extreme price movements to the upside and even to the downside. So you go up, come back down as a retrace, move up, come back down as a retrace, and that's like normal price action. You know, you have healthy retraces. In the bull market, you might not see those retraces, and it might just keep moving upwards until it's ready to crash. So the same thing I'm looking here, huge upward movement, and surely we are seeing the pullback right now. So we can use fibs and all that great stuff, but I'm hoping we come back into the 26, so $27 area, anywhere from $26 to $30. I think that would be a great buy. So I'm looking for us to come back and trade here. Maybe the whole market moves back. Maybe Solana just does it itself because it's moved upwards pretty fast, pretty quick, and it needs some time to, breathe, or some people are taking profits, coins are changing hands, whatever it may be. So I'm looking at the 27 to the $30 mark. We could do like 30 right here. So instead of, as I mentioned, just one line, we're looking at this area, because if you're so set on $26 to hit, I might hit 26.50, and these round numbers, I like to actually bid a little bit higher or lower because majority of people put their bids there as well. So you could also start to ladder in like 10% here, the other 20%, 20%, then 50% at the bottom. So then you've gotten a great average and you've gotten a good price. Instead of just buying one limit order and shooting the whole clip, you have multiple rounds to shoot and accumulate at different prices. So the 26 area and even lower, that is what we would be looking to buy. And I'll show you guys what might happen. Go back to the brush. So you can see that we would be jumping off major support, which isn't just the support area we drew out, but also the moving average would be here as well. So we'd be bouncing off this moving average, which we haven't done so on the flip side. You can see right here, we've almost bounced off. Let's look actually further. No, we haven't, not on the weekly, but I believe that would be a huge area of interest if it got into the moving average and I saw some bullishness, some, bullish candles or whatever it may be, a setup, then I would actually jump into that trade, as I've been super patient and I haven't jumped in, even though everybody's posting about Solana every day. I've been super patient, and I'm waiting for that pullback. So this is kind of what I'd want to see, a pullback as we're seeing right now. Maybe just it wicks in here, and either it's quick or it'll consolidate. We might even get some sort of wick lower. So unless you have orders, you could be watching this and you could actually buy the reclaim. So that would be we break down a little bit, we come back up, and we buy the reclaim right here. So that's what I'm talking about, like getting some of the best positions so you're not buying at the top and then you're forced to hold through this chop. You're trying to buy on the next higher low, so that would be somewhere here, and then ride it to the next higher high, which usually precedes the previous higher high. So you'd be looking for a target of $78. That's kind of my target. And if we use Fibonacci to check out where the retrace and our target could be, we'll use that right now. So if we take it from the previous higher low and we take it to the higher high, you can see that the 78.6 area is like perfect in my TV, even the 61 area right here. So anywhere between these two zones, like we can start looking for a buy. You don't necessarily have to just jump into the buy. You can look for a bullish setup or bullish, candle variation, whatever it may be. Or it could just be bouncing off the EMA right here. And then as our targets, this is what I'm usually looking for in crypto, the 127. You also have these two areas, so 55, $63, but 78 would be my target. So if we're looking to get an entry from the 27 mark, let's say, all the way to the 78 mark, that would be a 200% gain. And that's why we're being very patient. If you were to buy the top right here, you would only be getting a 62% gain, which is still remarkable, don't get me wrong. Let's look on the daily, and I will remove these fibs right here. So you can see, because on the weekly, you don't see much other than that, the previous candle. But here, you see a huge extension to the upside, and as you can see the market structure a lot cleaner. We're putting higher highs, higher low, higher high, or you can go all the way higher high here. We just exploded, and you can see that bounce on these moving averages with the bullish crossover, the golden crossover right here. And it's cool to see that we bounced right here. We also bounced on the RSI in the 50 RSI area, which I also watch. A lot of people just seem to watch the oversold and the overbought area, but I think the 50 area is just as or even more important. So we can see that we're pulling back right here. We're seeing a lot of indecision, a lot of profit taking, and hopefully we could pull back into the $20-$30 to the $27 area, because I'll be looking to take a buy. That's pretty much on the daily. I don't want to take up on the USD pair. And yeah, on the daily, if we look into the 4 hour, I'm not going to go too further down in terms of time frame, but if we can get like a price retracement all the way to here, we would be bouncing off the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of confluence. I'm looking for strong areas on every time frame. So that would be the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, even the 2-3 day. And if it all lines up, it gives me more confluence. And then I'll have every time frame giving me some sort of signal, and then I'll take it instead of it just like breaking a resistance or whatever, just being one candle that's giving me some bullish indication. I have multiple on multiple time frames. So if it's bouncing off the 4 hour, the daily, and the weekly MA, I'm going to look to buy. There's also a possibility that it doesn't break down and there's a ton of strength and buying pressure, and instead of coming down to the area we're looking at here, it could just bounce off this 50 EMA. It really can, and then continue to keep going. And do you know what we would do? Either we would buy, or more than likely I'll just let it run. I'll look for another setup which is more favorable, where I have a higher RR, and I'm not just trying to chase the next narrative or pump here. I'm looking for something that I feel very comfortable in buying size, and letting it run to my TP. So if we look at the Solana BTC chart, similar in terms of price action and market structure. We had this huge downtrend right here. We could draw it any way you guys want. it just broke out. We're going to use the line chart, and I won't go over this just as much. This one's more so for myself and for any other Bitcoin holder who has extra Bitcoin and wants to leverage it and not just have it in your hardware wallet. So we're looking for areas of interest where we're seeing multiple closes as resistance and support. And as I told you, this is one of the best ways to do it, to find these areas, is using a line chart. So you can see here we had a strong resistance, support, resistance, and now it looks like we're getting rejected here. So this area would be the next one. As I mentioned, that these don't actually close, but I can almost guarantee that this would have wicked here multiple times. So if we change back to the candlestick, oh, and I am wrong. So it didn't wick into here, but you can see the wicks above here. So if I moved it up there, but I'm going to stick with my line chart. Actually, I'll just put it a little bit higher. And that's why I mentioned, like, it's not always just a line. We could actually take the zone, and you don't want to be like so stuck up on, let's say, 50 bucks. If it starts getting to 47, 48, you can start slowly scaling out. And that gives you opportunity to ride it even higher. So you're not selling just at that 50. You can sell at 51, 55. You're never going to scale out 100% or scale in 100%. I think you'll get better averages on the way down and on the way up when you're buying and selling. So you can see here actually we're getting majorly shut down in terms of BTC against Solana, even the USD pair, which I like to see because I didn't FOMO into this, and I'm looking to get a great position. And that's going to reward my patience. So you can see here as well, I want to note some strong support. So we have some areas we can look at for when it pulls back. So if we go back to the weekly, this is kind of what I'm going to be looking for. If it comes back, and I'll have to break down into smaller time frames. So I'm looking for it to retest the moving averages and to retest prior areas. So you can see here, I don't know if we'll get it again. This is just me, maybe my wishful thinking, but if we break down, retest the moving areas and retest the prior lower, higher low right here, and the USD charts looking bullish, then I'm going to fire some of my Bitcoin into Solana right here. I'm looking for a retest of this moving average. We're at 11,000 sats. I'm looking for about 9,500 sats. And if we don't get that, then I might just look for a different setup. So I am going to take out the brush right here. I would be looking for a pullback into the moving averages, the 9,500 area, or I could play it a different way because I do have a large target. Actually, I'm going to move this one a little bit lower right here. I have a large target. What I'm looking for here is a pullback into the 9,500 sats area. If I could buy on the retest of the moving average, and that will actually line up, you can see here, almost with these moving averages coming up, it will line up with the daily as well. If I don't get a pullback, I'll be looking for a retest, a rebreak of this area. We haven't actually broken it and traded above it. We thrusted in terms of price, but we don't have any candles that closed here. So that's what I'll be looking for a confirmation of this break of resistance, and then it would be turned into support. After that, if we do get a retest, that would be a great area to buy, and we can ride it back up to the upward side, which is almost 100% move if it doesn't break down. If it breaks down and retests the moving average around here, surely would be about 100%. So one Bitcoin would turn into two, and the cleaner TA is definitely on the USD side. So if you have extra stable coins or you're just looking to get in, I would highly suggest to wait for that 26, 27, all the way up to the $30 range. Currently the price is at what, 38.70. So there's a lot of in my opinion, there's a lot of room for it to come down, especially after the crazy run it had, 120% in the last 3 weeks. You don't want to FOMO into these positions. You want to do your best to get into these higher lows as market structure seems to have changed. And not only that, you see less drawdown. It's less stressful when you're into a position, or you go large into a position and your drawdown's 10, 20, 30%. You just bought the top and then you panic, or you make a bad emotional decision and sell. When you wait for a great position, you have a plan and you can use a stop loss, because if it falls further, then your plan is voided and you might want to re-enter on a better setup. So I just wanted to do a quick analysis on Solana, as it is the talk of town, the narrative of Solana taking over ETH. I'm seeing it every day, and I just wanted to make sure you don't FOMO into a position. Wait for that $26, $30 area, and that would be a great buy into the next bull market. With the halving coming just in 160, 170 days, we're seeing strong alts just rip. So you don't want to miss out on Solana. I'm not telling you to buy the top. I'm telling you to wait, and if it doesn't get there, we'll look for another coin, for another setup. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and if you're in Barcelona, I'll see you guys there.